Hello. So I'm gonna go ahead and help with people using Streamlabs OBS. Pretty much. It's gonna look like this. This is probably default. You can go ahead and change the layout right here to whatever you want it to be. These are some options. By default, it's on this. Change it to this if you want. That's up to you. You could also change it to whatever you want. I believe you could just put them here by removing them and then changing them. It's up to you. Keep it at that, I guess. Studio mode allows you to go ahead and make two. This side will be what your viewers will see, so you can switch scenes and make changes off screen while your viewers are watching this screen. And then when you're done, you can translate. Make the edit version go to the live version, or you can just turn this off and it'll automatically do it for you. It's up to you. Now GitHub pretty much just opens another window. So just more information if you feel like it's necessary. That's up to you. Now inside the settings is where pretty much everything's gonna be done. You click here to get information about how it's Streamlabs is doing on your system. Now go to settings. By default, you should just leave this all alone. The only thing I would recommend changing, it's optional, right here in the output settings here. If you want to go ahead and do streams and recording, you can. If you click this, it will automatically start recording the second you start streaming. That's up to you. You can also put the automatically start replay buffer. That allows the system to go ahead and record only for a brief moment of whatever you push the button. It'll allow you to keybind so you can make like mini clips of yourself or something. I'll go over that in a bit. Here you'll pretty much set up as pretty much, it's pretty much summed up right here already. So now inside the output, this is where all your video feed will be. You could go on simple mode or advanced. Simple mode is more easier for people, straight to the point and all that stuff. Advanced gives you more options. Now in the streaming section, if you're doing simple, video update or bitrate is pretty much your upload speed. How fast your data is going from your computer to whatever you're doing. In this instance, it's going to be Twitch. Now, 2500 means it's going to be 2 MB with 5 point. That's how fast it's going to be. It might not be good. It might will. I don't know. It all just depends on your display. And it'll affect your quality of your stream. Twitch does not understand anything higher than 6000. That's 6 MB. Twitch will not understand anything higher, so do not go higher. Keep in mind that Higher isn't always best. It's pretty much optional on that. I would recommend you play around with it, see what works for you. Now the encoder is the system telling OBS Streamlabs what you want to be used to go ahead and record your video or stream your video. X264 is the system itself, which is Streamlabs. That's in case you don't have anything else. It's optional. Now, some softwares have Quick Sync, which is the second one. Some people don't have it, some people do. I believe it's an Intel processor setup that allows you to go ahead and have your Intel actually do the recording or stream for you. Now, this could be useful if your graphics card isn't strong enough to actually do it itself, or vice versa, kind of thing. Now, the second one is your graphics card. Nevada. There's two versions of it: the original format and the beta format. The beta format is actually the newest one, but it's still in development, so there's still no bugs. But it could actually work. Who knows? I, for one, use Quick Sync myself. Audio bitrate, I would say by default it should be 160. I would not recommend going down, and I don't know what will happen going up. I would recommend just leaving it at 160. That's up to you though. Now, advanced encoder is pretty much how fast and how much time you want your encoder to spend on every single frame. Now, the faster it is, the more it's gonna speed through it, and the less it's gonna actually care about what it's working on. The longer it takes on a scene, the more nicer it's gonna look, but it will also take longer to process every scene. If the scene takes too long, buffering will happen, shuttering will happen, pixelate might happen, because your video will be skipping scenes because it's taking too long to actually process it and send it out. If it's too fast, it'll get there as fast as it can, but it won't spend much of any time making the video or the scene look nice, and it might come out pixelated instead. It'll get there, but it might get there in like little tiny pixelated squares. Who knows? By default, it should be very fast. Good portion of the time, that's good. Custom encoder settings, that's up to you. I personally don't bother with it, so I wouldn't know. Now, if you're doing recordings, make sure you go ahead and have this already set. By default, it will already have a path for you. By default, it would say high quality, medium sized file. Just leave it at that. This will make sure the video will look pretty good, almost exactly like the stream, and it won't take as much space on your computer. If you have a lot of space, you can just go same as stream. That's up to you. Now, by default, it's the FLV version, the format. Now, if you plan on uploading to YouTube, this won't work. Go ahead and grab this and set it to the MP4. The MP4 file can be registered by YouTube, and if you want YouTube to actually get your videos, please set it to this. It'll be easier, and it'll be able to actually process it. If you have it to this one, it's not gonna upload. Encoder, now you could have it different from the streaming. It will collide if you do streaming and recording at the same time. It will collide. So only change them separately if you're doing separately. If you're doing them at the same time, make sure they're the same thing. Now the replay buffer, I was talking about that earlier in general. Right here. The replay buffer goes ahead and allows you to go ahead and have a recording up to a brief time of how many seconds beforehand. By default, it's at 10 seconds. I have it at 60. So when I push any button, once I toggle it to a keybind, say, I don't know, star, the star key. When I push star, it's going to go back 60 seconds into my video of my live stream and then record at that point up to my current time. It's literally making a clip for me, by me, just by a push up of a button. I use it. I don't know if anyone else does. If they do, cool. If they don't, cool. Up to them. Now in audio tab, I don't know if it's going to be different. I will recommend 48. That's up to you though. Stereo, well, that's pretty much, it explains itself. Now desktop audio device is pretty much what your headphones, speakers, whatever you're using to go ahead and capture your game, video, or if you're just doing whatever those things are where people will watch you and all that stuff. I don't know that stuff. I don't do it. Mic auxiliary is whatever your microphone is, whatever you're using to capture your voice, whether it be a headset microphone, an actual desktop microphone, a webcam microphone, or a laptop microphone. You'll put it here. For me, I'm using my headset and I'm using my desktop microphone. That will now show down here. Now, inside the... Man, I'm going to keep looking at that. Anyway, inside the video, now the base canvas is pretty much your screen. Make sure this maxes to your screen. Don't go any lower. Don't go any higher. Well, you can't really go higher. Some computers, some laptops, and some monitors, whatever. Some monitors can go ahead and go higher. Some can go to 8K resolution, 16. I think there's a 16K somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? Big screen. I don't know. Most often it's a 1080. Now this will automatically do it on its own. It'll capture whatever your screen is at that time. My screen can go to 4K, but I don't have it at 4K. I have it at 1080. So that's going to capture at 1080. Now if I move it to 4K, I will have more options here. They will go higher. Now, the output, this is what your stream will see. You could go ahead and have it match. It will look exactly like your video. What you see is exactly what stream will see. That will pretty much cancel everything else down here except the frames. But now if I put it to 720, your video will be the same, what you see is going to be the same, but what your stream is going to see is the quality will go down to 720. This is downscaling. This allows you to go ahead and stream normal quality to a lower resolution. So you could go ahead and trade quality for performance. Now when you're downscaling, you want to put a filter. This is telling your Streamlabs OBS how much time to go ahead and spend on every single frame. Now the fastest might not be best. The fastest will go ahead and get the frames as fast as it can out into the stream as fast as possible. But it'll spend as little time on every single frame. If it's too fast, it might come out pixelated. Like pixelated little boxes. Like little squares. If it takes too long, you might end up getting skips. Your frames might go ahead and start skipping because it's taking too long to actually match up with the others. If you want to balance, there it is. Now common FPS, by default, I would say that will be fine. You can change it if you want. That's up to you. This tells your stream how many frames you want to capture on there. Most of the time, 30 or 60. Some people use different. That's them. That's up to them. I don't mind. Don't care. I don't know anyone who does 10 and 20. Don't know. Now the hotkeys allows you to go ahead and set up your system. So you can do key bindings. You could do this if you want. It makes it a lot easier. Or you could just click on the buttons on the setup. That's right here. As you make scenes and sources, they will appear here as well. I don't have any at the moment, so there isn't any. Oh, let's see, where is it? Alright, I didn't enable it, did I? Oh, also, down here is your mute settings. So you can keybind your muting. You can mute your microphone if you don't want people hearing what you're saying or doing. You can toggle it, or you can have it to push. This one will go ahead and mute whatever your video is. The game's too loud, cutscenes blowing out your ears, mute it, spare your viewers. Or don't. Make them suffer with you. Either or. That's up to you. Now, in advance, process priority, by default, it's normal. Change this immediately. I would recommend above normal or high. This is telling OBS or Streamlabs OBS how much resources of your computer it's allowed to take. What takes highest priority. Now, I don't ever go below normal or idle. If you go idle or below normal, OBS will probably not bother recording anything because everything else has higher priority. Everything else is using its resources more, and OBS is just like, I'll take whatever I can get. Now, above normal and high, OBS will go ahead and take higher priority, and we'll go ahead and focus on getting the video done. Most of the time, games will go ahead and take the highest priority because they're going to take your full screen. You're going to take a full window. They're going to be in front. Now, if you have it on high, OBS is going to be pretty much right behind it, because it takes the second priority. The first priority is whatever you're doing, your game, your video, whatever. I personally have it on high. That's just me though. Now, color format, by default, I would say just leave it. By default. Now, color space, I would recommend you switching that from 601 to 709. This gives more detail and a variety of colors, as far as I know. I would go ahead and keep that on. Now, color range, change that from partial to full. It'll benefit you a lot better. Just leave this on default. It'll automatically capture whatever you have down here. Now, the recording file name will the recording file name is pretty much what whenever you do a recording or anything, it's gonna be what it's gonna name it. Normally, just leave it like this, because odds are you're going to change it anyways. This tells you when it was created. That's pretty much it. Just leave it as it is. Same thing. Now, stream delay. By default, it's off. I have it on because it's better. Stream delay, I have it on because preserve cutoff point. This allows you to go ahead and pretty much just have a delay. So whenever you have like an online match, or you're playing a multiplayer or something online where other people can actually watch and join, I would recommend this putting 10 to 15 seconds, or 20, 30, 40, an hour, whichever. It's up to you. This will go ahead and delay your stream from the actual what's going on. This prevents stream sniping. This helps streamers from getting cheaped out in a way. Now, if you have it at 15 seconds, your stream will go ahead and stream with a 15-second delay. This is good because if you have a stream sniper watching you, they'll go ahead and watch exactly where you are, and they'll go after you where you are there. But with that 15-second delay, where you are now is not matching to where you were. What they see is where you are 15 seconds ago. They don't know that. So when they go over there to shoot you, kill you, blow you up, or whatever, you're not there. That's where you were 15 seconds ago. For all they know, you're probably behind them by now. Who knows? Automatically reconnect. In case your stream suffers a disconnect, I don't know, your modem or router goes out, brief time. Instead of ending your stream immediately, because, oh, no internet, gone. It'll go ahead and try looping the feed as much as it can to go ahead and give you more time to reconnect to it. You lost internet for a brief moment. Doesn't mean your stream has to end right there and then. Now, to the viewers, they might get a little deja vu. That's normal. Just a little bit. Maybe I just saw this again. Oh, what's going on? Weren't they just here just a couple of seconds ago? Kind of thing. It'll just repeat for a short period while it tries getting you back into the video. I, for one, enjoy that because if something goes off, random blackout, an outage, shortage, whatever, it doesn't stop my stream. That's up to you. It'll try it for 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds, it'll try to reconnect to your system. It'll try 20 times or more or less, whichever. And then it'll give up. Network, pretty much just leave this alone. OBS Streamlabs will pretty much do this on its own. Don't worry about this part. Same as this and this. Now, scene collections, if you're jumping from another system, OBS Studio, Stream Elements, Split Screen, whatever, you could go ahead and download those files and bring them over here. That's up to you. Notifications. This is good if you are doing like test streaming. If you want to mess with your settings and you don't know if it's going to be good or not. This will go ahead and tell you if it's good. If your frames drop, you'll get a notification. A little ping indicating I'm losing stream, I'm losing frames, I'm losing packets, whatever. That way you could go ahead and say, oh, I'm asking too much or I'm asking too little. So you could go ahead and tweak around with it. So you could go ahead and get it to just right. Appearance, that's pretty much up to you. Now, I don't know anyone that actually enjoys day because it's bright and blinding sometimes. The second I get any recording system or anything, literally, immediately night. Because day is just no. Night theme, best thing anyone's ever made. Best thing. Here, pretty much just leave this alone. You could go ahead and enable these if you want. It'll allow your viewers to go ahead and have more of a variety of little emojis. It's up to you. Remote control allows you to go ahead and it brings up a barcode. Don't ever put it on public. That's why I'm not clicking it right now. Don't ever put it on public because anyone that has any scanner, barcode scanner, can actually take over your computer. Don't ever put it in public. Don't put it on a stream. Don't put it on a recording. Don't show it. Never. Roadshow camera or webcam. Pretty much what it says. Now the game overlay is a beta version. Now this allows you to go ahead and have your chat and events and notifications and everything on your screen. So you don't need to have a third party thing or use your phone or anything. It'll be on screen. Now this is still in a beta version. I don't know if it works. I don't use streamlabs. I use OBS Studio. So I don't know. Prime is, well, Prime. And that's pretty much it. Now, your scenes are where all your stuff is going to be. All your games, your BRB screen, your stream is starting screen, your stream is ending screen. I don't know. It's gonna have all your stuff. And your sources are pretty much gonna be in those. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make a scene. I main Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 2. Now this is gonna go ahead and make a spot where I could just click on it. When I click on it, it'll open all the sources that is related to this. When I click off of it, all those sources will turn off and I will go to this one instead. And this one's all their sources will go ahead and trigger. It's good if you want to go ahead and make it to where you could go ahead and click like a hotkey or something to switch scenes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and capture a game. Make sure you go ahead and push the plus sign right over here. Now here you can decide how you want it to be captured and what you want to be captured. In this case, I'm going to be doing a game, so game capture. Some games, there are a few of them, don't understand what game capture is. In that instant, you're going to go to a window capture. But for now, I'm going to do game capture. Now, game capture, you can leave it like that, or you could go into detail. Left 4 Dead 2. Now, I can't do this right here. This right here, I'm not allowed to do. You have to have everything with its own separate name. You can't have two things with the same name. It's going to freak out the system because you're telling it to open up in multiple places at the same time, and it's going to freak out. So here, I'm going to go ahead and put Left 4 Dead 2 game. That way this Left 4 Dead doesn't mix up with this Left 4 Dead. There you go. Now, this is on auto. So pretty much anything full screen will be taken over. You can switch that to capture a specific window. So it'll look only for that one. By default, it's on auto. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start my Left 4 Dead. My Left 4 Dead's on. Okay. There it is. Now, sometimes, not all the time, you might have it like this. That was weird. You might have it like this, to where there's borders. Now this looks like crap. You can go ahead and click it on here and right click and look for the one called transform. There you can go ahead and tell it to go ahead and resize to whatever you want it to resize to. You could adjust it manually. Or you could have transform do it. I want it to fit the screen. There's no more borders. You could also do it over here. Now, if you want, go to properties. This will open up that window that we had earlier. That's this one. Sorry, I'm mistaken this up here for the top part. Now I'm going to close this so it will show you as I open it up. There it is. Now, if you go ahead and capture a specific window, it'll look for Left 4 Dead 2. Now, if Left 4 Dead 2 is not playing or on your computer at the moment, it'll show a black screen. I'm going to close Left 4 Dead 2. There's a black screen because Left 4 Dead 2 is not playing on my computer anymore. It is not on my processors. It's not on my sources or anything. It's not here. Now, if this is on auto, if it's on auto, it will display this. That is up to you. And if you don't want your cursor being shown on the video, you could go ahead and remove it here. And that's pretty much it. Now, Left 4 Dead 2 is on my one of my scenes now. When I click off to another scene, it'll just give me all the sources that are available to that scene. Left 4 Dead is not available because it's not on the same source or scene, my bad. Now say I don't want to go ahead and actually click it. Go into your settings. Keys. Now scroll down. Left 4 Dead 2 will now appear because it's here. It's one of my scenes now. This allows you to go ahead and go to it. Let's see. P. I can't use my normal bindings because I'm already using them. This will allow you. Ignore that. I just realized I put it on the wrong one. There we go. Switch to scene. P. This tells the system that you want to go to that scene. I'm gonna put O to go ahead and switch to the other scene. Done. Now I push P. Now I push O. This allows you to go ahead and switch between scenes without having to come back to this and clicking it yourself. When you're done with that scene, just get rid of it. B. Oh. Now, on your audio, this right here, you want to make sure it doesn't go into the yellow. This is your microphone. If it goes into the yellow, you're a little bit loud, just a little bit. If it goes into red, you're pretty much blowing people's ears. You're killing people's eardrums. Now, at all times, I would recommend you having your voice higher than the game audio, so people can actually hear you over the game. But don't make it to where you're blowing their eardrums out. Now click on this right here. This will bring up this menu. Now you could go ahead and test it to see how your voice is sounding on the stream by having it do a feedback. This way you could actually hear what you sound like, so you could adjust it properly. Testing. See? That way you're not blowing everyone's eardrums out. And you can actually hear it yourself. Once you're done, turn the feedback off. There you go. And that's pretty much it. You need to know what's going on with your CPU. There you go. This will tell you how your performance is doing on the stream. Due to the fact that I'm not live, these aren't showing anything. You click them here to display them down here. It's useful if you want to go ahead and keep track of how your CPU is doing. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.